Your final day in prison, what was that like for you?
Well, mine was because the jail I was at, they send you to another jail to get released a day before you go home. So you basically on lockdown a day before you go home. And I was just, in my mind, I just couldn't believe it. I just was like, is this shit real? Like, is this shit, like, am I about to be out here? Like, it was just the maximum and I was a little worried, like, oh shit, am I gonna, get this or do that, or how I'm gonna do this? I started worrying about rent and all that shit, health insurance, a bunch of dumb shit started popping in my head.
None of that stuff you mentioned is dumb.
Yeah. You're right, that's true.
Now, were you surprised on the final day, or did you know, how far in advance did you know?
No, I knew the month I was gonna go home. They don't give you the day until that month come, because the way your days calculate, you always get time off your sentence if you got a job and things like that. So you don't know the day until that month come. And when the month came, I learned about the day probably 3 weeks before. 2 weeks. About 2 weeks before I went home, I knew the day.
Did you keep it quiet?
Nah, because I was engaged in music and I already had I released 2 mixtapes while I was locked up. So it was like I let the month out that I was gonna come home. And the day came out probably like 2 or 3 days before, just because I was already engaged with the public.
I see. Now, what's the first thing you did on your day out?
Studio. Went straight to the studio.
First thing you did was go to the studio?
I went straight to the studio. First day, I went straight to the studio. My whole family was over there, friends, and my nieces was in there. And I was like, what beat y'all want me to rap on? And they was like, ooh. I was like, what the fuck is that? Because I never heard the song. And they picked the beat for me. I went straight to the studio.
First person you saw?
First person I saw was my best friend, Rico. He an artist also. He with me, my co-label mate. He came and picked me up.
First meal you had?
I didn't eat for like 7, I think it was 6 or 7 days. I couldn't even eat. And the first thing I did eat was macaroni, cheese, and chicken home cooked from Mom's and my sister-in-law.
Since prison food and that sort of thing could be a little different, was your stomach able to hold it in?
Yeah, my stomach still like reacts to certain grease. Like Chick-fil-A, they cook their food in like peanut oil.
Right.
Crushes my stomach.
Oh, wow.
Chipotle, I'm just addicted, but it crushed my stomach. Certain food that I could say I didn't eat at all before I went in, that I eat now, really crushes my stomach. And like other things, it's like I'm getting back used to it.
How long before you had sex for the first time?
3rd day. Because I was in the studio straight on 3 days, and I had sex on the 3rd day.
So you haven't had sex in 13 years, and you come out and you don't even have sex the first 24 hours?
No, I went straight to the studio.
Crazy. Now, how hard or easy was it for you to adjust back into society? It's been about 7 months now since you've been out, right?
7 months. Honestly, I still haven't had the time to sit down and like take it all in, because I be so busy, because I came straight home to, the music and the label. So I haven't had no time to honestly sit down, and even had no time for myself or just to take it all in. I just be so busy. Like even the differences on the street, I notice them, but I haven't had time to really be affected by it.
Now, I know you said the prison you were in, or the prison system you were involved in, was a lot of corruption there. So were you able to miss out? Like, did you miss out on anything technology-wise, or were you pretty much up to date with everything?
I knew what certain things was, but I didn't know how to use them. Like, I knew what Instagram was, but I didn't know how to use it.
I see.
I knew what Facebook was, I didn't know how to use it.
How long did it take you to get adjusted to those when you got out? Because everything, social media is so heavy now.
Yeah, it took a little longer because I had people doing it for me for like the first 2-3 months until I really sat down. Until I started watching what they was doing, and I sat down to start now I still don't know how to start an Instagram, because I'm trying to start another Instagram, just like a little sneaky one. But I don't. They say you got to need an email account. I don't even know how to hook up an email account yet. So it's still things I don't know how to do. So it's definitely a little difficult.
A lot of people learn stuff on how to do things through YouTube.
And that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing you can type in anything on YouTube and they got a video for it.
I personally learned how to parallel park through YouTube. I was watching it on the phone and was trying it at the same time. First time I ever learned how to parallel park was watching YouTube.
I might need to go in there for the driver test because I keep failing the damn learner's test. Like, I failed it 3 times.
I learned how to tie a tie. I never knew how to tie a tie before.
Damn.
You know, certain things, it's amazing. Now, what do you think you missed the most out on out of 13 years away from free society? What do you think? I mean, different cell phones have come out, obviously social media.
The most I say beyond is just opportunity and like the growth of my family. Like I got cousins that's 13 that wasn't born when I was home. I got cousins that's 7 and 6 and they looking at me, they heard of me. And they seen me on the social media. I missed out on their growth and actually engaging with them.
I mean, a lot has changed. People use cell phones. They don't even use landlines anymore. Uber.
They don't know nobody's phone. Oh, Lyft and Uber. People don't know phone numbers. I might be like, yeah, give me such number. They be like, oh, I gotta get. Like, if somebody separated from their phone, it's like their life over.
It is. Seriously.
And the texting thing. Like, you know, I call a person, they might text me back. I'm like, what the fuck?
Now, what shocked you the most? Like when you came home and you saw things have changed?
Certain things that's accepted now that wasn't accepted when I was home. Like,
what's an example?
Like, guys wearing dresses and shit. Like, that fucks me up. Like,
sure, I can see how that
yeah, so, because I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you know, and even like dudes that like testify and tell and they still allowed to be, you know, who they are. Like, that shit fucked me up. And not to go off subject, but like NFL and NBA, this shit is fucked up now. Like, boxing is fucked. Everything is like, everything it seems like is, and I don't want to sound like my uncles who used to tell me how my shit, like, oh, that shit you up, that shit's bullshit. Like, now that shit for wrestling is fucked up. Like, they tell you wrestling fake now. They don't even fake like it's fake no more.
Do you still feel institutionalized even though you've been released
that's
7 months
question.
now?
And yeah, because like I be having to sometimes get reminded to eat because I'm like I could be hungry and still operate. Used to wait until they call a child in jail. So if, say for instance I'm sitting through my whole day and somebody be like, you eat? And I be like, damn, I ain't need to eat. Because I'm used to being told to eat and when to eat. Shit, you feel me? So it fuck with me in certain ways.
Somebody watching this about to get out or just have gotten out, any do's or don'ts adjusting back into society?
Don't run your family off or friends. Whoever your support system is, embrace it because you're going to need it. Like some people come home and be like, oh, you know, everybody don't want to take help. Man, take that help. Like, embrace your support system.
Did you have a good support system?
I had a great support. I had a hell of a support system. I wouldn't even be in the position I am to sit here and talk with you if it weren't for my support system.
Now, just dealing with the prison system in your experience of 13 years, I'm sure there could be a multitude of things that you would change if you could. But out of all the things that you've experienced, what's the most important thing? If you had the ability to change it in the prison system, what would you change?
Oh, like, well, is we talking laws or just inside the prison system?
Either or, if it's a law or if it's
like
the actual
people
prison.
Actually been charged with the crime they committed. Because, like, my charge was a manslaughter, but they charged me with first-degree felony murder. You have a lot of dudes sitting in jail with life that didn't even kill nobody because they was with somebody that killed somebody. So, like, the way they charge and sentence you is not going with the crime. Then you go to prison. The prison guards, when it comes to respect and when it comes to, you know, abuse and all that, it's fucked up. And when we lash out on it, they look at us, oh, you see, he's a fucking criminal. But it don't happen all the time. COs don't get killed all the time. One CO might get killed every 3 years. But when that CO get killed, they punish the inmate that did it. But some COs don't get killed all the time. So if a CO get killed, it's obviously something going on that ain't normal. You feel?
Now, some would say prison in America is modern-day slavery.
It's about money, because once you sit back and understand the prison industrial complex, you will understand that it's bigger than me. I'm thinking it's my skin, I'm thinking it's this, but it's bigger than, it's about money. And they use our circumstances to create that. They know this and that. Just like with the crime law that they try to change now, as far as you get this amount of time for hard and this amount of time for powder.
Right.
You know, normally in our society, it's hard. People deal with crack. And suburban societies, they deal with powder. But
Right.
you get less time for the same amount of weight. And it shows that, like, there's no way in the world if somebody did commit murder and locked up for murder that somebody with a drug charge got way more time than him. That makes no sense. So,